Let's make Italian ciambellone, which is this classic Italian-style pound cake. It's incredibly soft, fluffy, lightly sweet, and honestly one of the simplest cakes you can make. Now, if you're not Italian, this might sound a little shocking, but yes, Italians absolutely eat cake and cookies for breakfast, usually with cappuccino or coffee. It's not super sugary like a frosted cake, but it is incredibly melt-in-your-mouth soft, and it's more of a sweet, everyday simple cake that's perfect for dunking. This is also one of those recipes that's great to make on a Sunday. You bake it once, leave it on the counter covered, and then you have something homemade, ready for breakfast or snack throughout the week. Now let's talk about the pan and how to properly grease a bundt pan. The word ciambellone literally means giant donut, so traditionally it's baked in a round pan with a hole in the middle. Ideally, you want to use a smooth tube pan, but I'm using a bundt pan because that's what I have, and honestly, a bundt pan works perfectly fine. Now, how you grease the pan actually determines how easily the cake will come out later, so this step is important. The best way to do this is to melt some butter and mix a little flour into it. Then using your hands, just spread it generously all over the pan. Make sure to really get into all the nooks and crannies, especially if you're using a bundt pan like this. And honestly, I like to add one more layer of flour after that. You can never be too careful with bundt pans. Just sprinkle some flour into the pan, move it around so everything gets coated, and shake out the excess. I promise you, if you grease your pan this way, nothing will stick. For the actual cake, you'll only need 5 main ingredients, plus a little leavener, of course. Let's start with the dry ingredients. To the flour, we're going to add baking powder and a little salt. Do not skip the salt. It's really important because it brings out all the other flavors. Next up is butter. Now, yes, this is a lot of butter, but it's a big cake. The butter is what keeps the cake tender and moist for multiple days. You want to cut it into small chunks and let it come to room temperature. If you forgot to take it out earlier, you can microwave it briefly. Just make sure it softens and it doesn't fully melt. To the butter, we're going to add the sugar and some lemon zest. Please do not use artificial flavorings here. The lemon zest adds such a nice natural aroma. Grate the zest directly over the sugar. This releases the lemon oils right onto the sugar. With this amount of lemon, you won't really taste the lemon in the cake. It's more like a background flavor that just makes everything taste brighter. Italians love adding citrus zest to baked goods. You'll see it in tons of traditional recipes. Now take your fingers and gently rub the zest into the sugar. This helps release even more of those natural oils, and you'll immediately smell the lemon. It smells amazing. You'll also need some vanilla. You can use pure vanilla extract or vanilla paste, whatever works for you. We're going to cream the butter and sugar together for at least 3 minutes on medium-high speed. This step is really important because it incorporates a lot of air into the batter. This cake doesn't have a huge amount of leavener, so the fluffiness mostly comes from properly creaming the butter and sugar. You'll know you've beaten these well because the sugar and butter mixture will become pale and fluffy. Now you'll need 5 eggs, which seem like a lot, but remember, this is a pretty large cake. If your eggs are cold from the fridge, a quick trick to bring them to room temperature is to just place them in hot tap water for about 2 minutes. We're going to add the eggs one at a time. After each egg goes in, mix just until it's incorporated. Then stop and add another egg. Now, when you're doing this, the mixture might curdle. That can happen if the eggs are too cold, but also because eggs are made up mainly of water. And we all know that fat and water do not mix. You can think of cake batter as a delicate negotiation between two parties that naturally despise each other. Fat, the butter, and water, the egg white. But don't worry when this happens. As soon as the flour goes in later, the batter will come back together perfectly. Once the eggs are mixed in, we can add the final ingredients. You want to add half of the dry ingredients along with half of the milk. and mix that together first. Then add the remaining flour and the remaining milk and mix until everything is incorporated. You don't want to overmix the batter, otherwise you'll end up with gluey streaks, but obviously you do want to mix until a thick, smooth batter forms. Scrape the bottom and sides of the bowl and your batter's ready to be transferred into your baking pan. Now, because this cake batter is quite thick, you want to add it in batches and smooth it out. This avoids large air pockets, so take your time here. I like to also use a knife and swirl the batter into the pan. This makes sure the batter is evenly distributed into the pan. You want to bake this cake in a preheated oven at 340 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 170 degrees Celsius, for about an hour and 10 minutes. If the cake starts to brown too much, you can cover the top with a piece of aluminum foil. While that bakes, it's the perfect time to talk about today's sponsor, Surfshark. Surfshark is the all-in-one cybersecurity tool that makes it easy to protect your online life. Whether you're shopping, browsing, or streaming, it keeps your data private and secure. What I really love is that they're constantly adding new features to stay ahead of scammers and hackers. One of the newest ones I've been finding really useful is their AI email scam checker. It scans your messages and flags anything suspicious, so you never have to check whether that random link is safe to click. And it can actually save you money. I travel back and forth between Italy and the US all the time. Whenever I'm booking flights or hotels, I fire up Surfshark, switch my location, and test different locations to compare prices. One subscription covers unlimited devices, so you get total online privacy and security with a single tool. So go to surfshark.com/Emmas or use code Emmas at the checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. There's no risk. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee. After about an hour and 10 minutes, check the cake with a toothpick. If it comes out clean, your ciambellone is ready. Let it rest in the pan for 5 minutes, but don't leave it any longer or the bottom can turn soggy. Place a baking tray or a wire rack on top, then carefully flip it over using oven gloves since the pan will still be very hot. Do it confidently but carefully, and with a little tap on the top, it should slide right out. Now let it cool for at least 20 minutes if you can wait that long. Personally, I love ciambellone while it's still warm. There's nothing better than a freshly baked slice straight from the oven. So honestly, I cannot wait any longer to dig in. It's so soft and fluffy, and honestly, one of the simplest cakes you can make. But sometimes these simplest things really are the best. Keep it covered on your kitchen counter, and you'll have a delicious treat to enjoy throughout the week.